Decentraland Demystified. Create your world, let the imagination fly. With Claude AI as your friendly guide. Code design and build, watch it amplify. SDK7 for TypeScript coding. With blocks and tools, it's so mind-blowing. Build your spaces, architecture so fine. A creative metaverse, one of a kind. Decentraland Demystified. Create your world.
What we're going to do is we're going to open up Visual Studio Code. And let me go ahead and just start with a new scene. So once you open this up, so you've got these different packages. So if you go to extension, type in Decentraland, then you want to install SDK7. Once you do that, what you want to do is create a folder, and then you'll go to open. I've got this created here, and there's no files in here, which is what you want. There's an empty folder. You want to select it, and then with Decentraland, with the package selected, you want to create project. So whenever you create a project, it actually prompts you to select different types of templates. So you could do a standard project, which is what we're going to do, which is like a scene. You could set it up for portable experience or smart wearable, and kind of see the file structure of that and how those are coded. So this is the beginning of learning how to code. And I know this is really intimidating. It was intimidating to me. Sometimes whenever you learn these things, it's like you just don't want to even try. It's like even downloading the software is intimidating if you don't know what you're doing, because you've never done it before. That's why you don't know what you're doing. But once you jump into the water, and get wet, then you realize that it's not nearly as difficult, as you thought it was. And I'd love to be able to help people learn how to do these things. So so you've got someone that you can ask, and hopefully we create a little community, of support for everybody. So what we're gonna do is do standard project, and then notice down here it's gonna get us set up for that, and it'll be populating. These folders, so it's actually created all these folders and files. So if you have an empty folder that you start this off with, then you shouldn't have errors or anything weird. Click on SRC, and what we're going to do. So now in index we've got some files, or we got some code there. But what we want to do is we want to delete all of these except for index. We want to keep index. We want to delete, move to recycling bin. And this code is pertaining to that template folder that was set up. So what we want to do is actually delete all of this code. Okay, so this is a completely blank folder or file. And what we could do is we could begin adding in like the different components from Decentraland ECS and all of that. But to do all of that, you would actually need to know how to code. And so that's what this video is all about. It's about using artificial intelligence to Claude specifically to help us with that code. So Chrono T, aka Michael. So what we're gonna do is, This is Sonnet 3.5 new. Claude is one of the best coding AIs out there right now. And this new version was just released, and it's really good. It's better than the previous version, which is actually great for Decentraland SDK. But a lot of this, what we'll do is, like, a lot of this is about the prompt. Like, how well can you prompt? How well is your question? So one thing that we want to do is we want to create a Decentraland SDK7 scene on a 32 let's see, we could tell it, yeah, let's go ahead and do a scene that is 32 meters by 16 meters. The reason why I was hesitating is I'm not 100% sure if it's 16 by 32 or 32 by 16. But, okay, so we'll do that. So create a Decentraland SDK7 scene that is 32 meters by 16 meters. This scene has a boundary.glb and a level 1.glb with collider. And so this should, right here, just this alone should give us all of the things that we need. But what we also want to do as you explore this is you begin learning how to code. You begin learning the different functions and things that you need whenever you build a scene from code. You'll also find that all of these things are in the hub, in the Creator Hub, which the Creator Hub is great, but it's also really good to know how to do things with code. It's a lot more powerful, and you really have full control. But you can use both. So what we want to do is we want the scene contains a boundary.glb and a level 1 glb with collider. So you provide each glb, and these are called entities, but you don't even need to say that. In fact, we don't have to be so proper either. So give each glb a transform for position, rotation, and scale. So I understand that you may not be, but that you're probably not familiar with the term transform and then the need for position, rotation, and scale. But as you pursue down this path, this will be something that comes up over and over again. We could do this without that transform, and it would most likely automatically give us a position, the transform for position. That way we could, with our code, move it wherever we want. But we also want to be able to rotate it and then scale it up or down. So let's go ahead and see what this does for us. Go ahead and hit enter. Okay, so this code right here is going to be what we need. And there are a few things here that we're wanting to change. Most of this is correct, but and this is in the center, so this is in the center of, so by giving it the dimensions for the meters, it nicely kind of centers things for us. But the main thing we need to change here is the location of our GLB files. So Claude, for some reason, automatically just sticks it in the models folder. It just kind of assumes that you've got it in models. But in this SDK file setup, we got assets, scene, and we'll actually be putting our things in this assets scene folder. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. Go to GLB files, and we'll just copy both of these directly into here. So now we've got assets scene. So the assets, this is where you copy all of the models that you create in Blender. And so what we need is we need the code to actually reflect that. So let's go ahead and copy. That button down there, copy contents. And then we will just paste it. Boom. And you notice that we have one error. So before we go about changing anything in terms of our models, let's address this error. And this is how you use Claude with Decentraland. This is the series of steps that you take. Is you ask it for code, it will create code. You post it into VS Code, and you'll get an error almost every time. But what you do is you just simply, so this is, I'm going to copy this, what that is, and I'm going to go back to Claude, and I'm going to say error for set current. And it goes, oh yes, okay, I understand why. So then it, come back, and hopefully it fixed it for us. So we're going to copy this again. We're going to go highlight or Control A for all, and then Control V for paste, and it fixed it. So see, we just solved our first problem. Using Claude AI with Decentraland is a series of doing this. Once we get this basic code working, what we're going to do is test it, and then we'll save all of this off in a text file as I'll call it episode 3 version 1, and then after that, what we'll do is we'll prompt for a video player that we can get and then post on the wall, or position the video player on the wall. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Control S for save. Control S for save. And I'm wanting to change, I'll need to change this path correctly. So this is assets, scene. And if you wanted to, you could actually just not have an assets scene folder. You could actually just change the, you could just make a models folder and then, put it in there if you wanted to, but I like to use the standard setup unless you need to. But the cool thing is it automatically named, all of the stuff. This is actually how you learn how to, code. It created a constant, which is basically telling the engine that we have a boundary entity. So add it to engine. We're going to give that boundary entity, we're going to give the boundary a transform for position, rotation, and scale. It's a 32 by 16, so half of 32 is 16, half of 16 is 8. So this is in the center of that. I could rotate it however I want, and then I can scale it also however I want. And then so this part of the code is just saying that we are creating that this entity is actually a GLB file, and is the location of that GLB file. And then again here, we're adding the constant of level 1. We're giving level 1 transforms for position, rotation, and scale. And level 1 entity is actually a GLB file that we created in Blender just now. And this is the location of that. And then here it's saying that there is a collider, a mesh collider, set box. Actually, I think we can get rid of this. I don't think, because we actually had a collider already in our file. So I'm actually going to get rid of that, and then we'll see. Well, hold on. Let's go ahead and keep it. And then let's see what happens. So I'm gonna save. And then so now we're actually able to test out everything. So we can test this code out. So this is kind of the process that we ask Claude for some code. It produces code, we copy it here, we get rid of, we resolve the errors that it gives us by just simply telling Claude errors for whatever it's giving errors for. Sometimes it's a lot more complicated. I noticed earlier while practicing, preparing for this, episode 3, that Claude had a difficult time actually getting the correct syntax for the video encoder. Partly, because we've had like 7 different versions of the SDK, but there's a nice solution to that. So we'll get to that in just a second. But so that we can test this out, we're gonna click on Decentraland again, and then we're gonna run the scene. Okay, so this is our scene. We have a red box around it. With our red box, these colliders won't work. So let's dig into this. Let's see why we're getting this. I'm assuming we're getting this because the rotation. So I said 32 by 16. It probably should have been 16 by 32. So what we can do is we can just try this. I'm going to turn everything up 90 degrees. Just refresh it. Actually, no. I know exactly why this is happening. This is happening because the scene file. So let's go ahead and So the reason why we're getting these boxes is because the default scene is for a just a parcel, 16 by 16 meters. And even though I went into, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reverse that change. Okay, save it. So even though I told Claude that this is the size of my scene, what I need to do is I need to fix the, I need to tell the scene, give the scene information for the size. So we're going to click on scene, and let's see, parcels. So I have 2 parcels. So yeah, here we go. So now I have 2 parcels, and the base is at 0. Save. And now that I've got that, what I'm going to do is go back here and run scene. So let's see here. There we go. So that actually fixed it. A lot of this is really like determining, and so now these collisions should work. Yep, so now the collisions work. There we go. So that's actually an important, thing to kind of figure out. I'm glad that happened to us. So what had happened is this is an estate that has 2 parcels connected to it, and so that each parcel is 16 by 16 meters. This estate is 32 meters in length and 16 meters wide. And so what I had done is I had initially I just left this blank, I didn't touch it. And so initially it was like this. And Obviously this is just one parcel, it's not two connected as an estate. Then what I had done is I had made this a 1 instead of a 0. Now what I could do is I could save this just how it was. This would go red again whenever I refresh it, but then I could fix it by just turning the whole thing 90 degrees. So this will be red again. Oh. Huh. Okay. Well, it's not red again, so I should probably. So anyway, but I'm gonna make it how it was. Apparently, it accepted it either way. It just kind of flipped the mesh this time. But okay, cool. Well, anyway, so what we've got is we have got our code. This code is working. What I'm going to do is go ahead and close some of these. And I'm going to go ahead and close this one more time. And run scene just to make sure, since we did some changes, make sure everything's okay. And then once I confirm that there's nothing wrong with the scene, then what I can do is I want to go ahead and close this. I'm gonna highlight all of this or do Control A. I'm gonna copy it, and then I'm going to create a folder called code. Right click and open a text document, and I will call this episode 3 V1. I know that this is I don't even write code there. Obviously it's in the code folder, but it's a text file. So what I'm gonna do is open this up, Control V, and then Control S. So I'm just copying that code into this and saving it off. So this right here is working code. You could, this is really powerful. You save this off into your coding folder and you can just reference this whenever you want. Like if you wanted to not use AI, you've got the actual code, of course, why not use AI? But, and then sometimes what I'll do is, this is version 001, but then I'll write, call it initial setup. So I may not give it description to each one of these, but whenever you reach a milestone, it's good to go ahead and just kind of name it. That way if you need to go back or find certain different places, you can do that. Okay, so let's go back to Claude. And we're gonna tell Claude that we want to add a video. And we're probably gonna get some errors. But then what we want to do is kind of direct Claude, give Claude some examples of based on the Decentraland documentation. Now, I've created all different kinds of things with Claude. Most of the time, what I can do is just feed the errors back to it, and it will eventually give me the correct code. And that goes fine. You can build out a scene one step at a time. That's the key, is one step at a time. Save off those files, notate those files as needed, and you kind of build from there. However, certain things, like the video, I expected it to work a little better than it did whenever I first tested this out. So let's go ahead and just kind of type in, give us a video screen, and let's see, and we'll troubleshoot it for a little bit. And if it has problems, I'll actually go to the Decentraland documentation website, where it provides examples of the video. I don't have to figure that out myself. I can actually just post it and give it to Claude. So, reference this whenever you do it, and then it actually does it correctly. So what we're gonna do is we're going to add and this particular video stream that I'm gonna add is from Live Pure Studio. And this is just the intro to the show, and it's giving me a link here. This is an RTMP link, and this is the link that will actually copy into the code. But so this is RTMP, so add an RTM video screen with transform for position. Okay, so it's like, certainly I'll do that. And yeah, most of the time it doesn't just work out of the box like that. Notice that up here it's added a video player. So what we want to do is copy all of this and just delete this, paste this. Now notice that what it's done is it's actually kind of removed our information for this is the assets for the scene. Okay, so now that's fixed. And it gives us no errors, so that's good. So let's save off, that's a Control S to save. But since we're on video, I'll just do it like that. And then our RTMP link, let me copy that over. So of these, if you used LivePeer, it's this one. And LivePeer is free to use if you do not plan to do little crazy things, like lots of streaming. I'm not sure what its limitations are. So once we added that, we're going to save and we'll test the scene. Let's see what this looks like. I'd be kind of surprised if this just works out of the box, because earlier it was a little. Okay, so what we need is we need to actually position this thing, because most likely it's inside, and I still don't think it works. I think we can hear the audio, but okay. So our video screen is right here at in the center of the scene. This is the reason why we can't see it. It's kind of it's in the center, but it's also at elevation of 3. Normally Z stands for depth, up and down, but with this code actually Y is actually Z and Z is Y, but I wouldn't worry about that, you'll figure it out. So I mean, you'll just if you're locked into the axes, X being X, Y being Y, Z being Z, just from practice you'll realize there's this value that makes it go up or down, and this is actually the Y axis. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to try 32. And what this should do is it should put it at one end or the other. I'll go ahead and refresh it. Okay, let's see. Let's try the other way. So we'll put it at 1, and this should put it on the other side. If we can't see it, then that's actually an issue with the code. Okay, yeah, so I can't see it. So what I'm going to do is actually we'll go back to Claude. And we'll go, so we want to say I can hear the audio, but so this is actually, how you use Claude. I understand the issue. SDK, you need to add a material component. Okay. So what I'm gonna do here in a second is next time I try this, if this doesn't work perfectly, I'll show you how I copy over. Like I can actually drag this into Claude as I'm typing what I typed, and it'll keep all of the paths correct from there on. So let's go ahead and just copy this just to see if it could fix it. Also, by copying that over, it'll copy this, and that way I don't have to continue. So I'm gonna paste that. I got one error, so I'll go. Received error for texture. It should be like, oh, okay. And okay, I know I'm going to get an error for albedo color because it needs a different code for that. It's a material color code. So, but anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to go back to here. We're going to highlight all of this, paste it. Oh, look at that! It didn't actually give me an error. It didn't give me an error because it added color 4. Okay. All right. Well, good for it. And so what we need to do is asset scene. I'm gonna copy over this. And this is the RTMP link. Save. Okay, so let's see. It's right there. So that's part of the screen right there. So what I need to do is move the screen around. And of course, yeah, so here, these are the how to adjust that. So what I'm going to do is go 32. So even if this does work perfectly out of the box, I'll show you another way to approach it. Okay, there we go. And so yeah, one thing you can do is kind of pop this there, and you can go. We want this to be at 8. So this is the Y. That'll center it in the middle there. And then I want to do 90 degrees. And this is how you learn how to code. Let's see. Oh, I'll keep that at 180, but it's that rotation was at 90? Yeah, that's Y. It should be either 90 or minus 90 to spin that around. I'm gonna do 90. I'm actually gonna bring it inside. So instead of 32, let's do 30. Okay, so now it's inside. Looks like there's a problem with the rotation. But there's also a problem, I can't see the video. So earlier whenever I was playing around with this, it's probably because it's got like a emissive, it's probably because of this PBR shader. But what's kind of strange, what's boggling my mind is the fact that this so I'm actually going to go back into Claude. Well, first off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight all of this. I'm going to copy this into version 2. Claude there. And I'm going to copy this in there. There we go. So now whenever I work on it, it's going to keep all those paths correct. And it'll keep that RTMP link correct. Okay, so the video screen is not rotating. Let's see. Oh boy, this is actually kind of an issue. Claude goes down sometimes. Jeez. So that actually, this is another. I guess it's good that it's in the tutorial because what with this error, it's not going to help me. It's not going to work at all. But let me show you something else. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into Decentraland video player, play videos. So in this Decentraland docs, if you're wanting to get into learning how to code with SDK, you don't have to learn how to code. It's really just a matter of becoming familiar with stuff. You have Claude code for you. But here, earlier, whenever I was having an issue with Claude finding the right settings for everything, what I ended up just doing is just copying this and pasting it into giving it to Claude, going, use this as reference. So, yeah, so this is not going to work for us right now. But yeah, it's kind of strange that it's not rotating the way that I would expect it to rotate. Oh, okay. I actually know there's a thing called quaternarian, and this is just because I'm not a coder, but it's just because I've been using Claude AI that I happen to know that whenever you want to rotate something, it's a quaternarian function that's in the math section. And that's just from doing it, just from messing around. And let's see. I'm not sure if that'll be enough. Quaternarian. Okay, so this is something that Claude would need to fix, but that's the reason why it's not rotating, is it needs to use quaternarian instead of just vector 3 like it's trying to do. And it's also why these up here wouldn't work either, is because it needed quaternarian for things to rotate around. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and just take a break, give Claude a little bit of time, because it's not going to do anything for me now. And then I will pick this back up, and yeah. So far what we've done is we went into Blender, we created just a very general scene for an estate. This estate will be one that I post in Genesis Plaza, and it'll have this tutorial playing in it. Alrighty, well, thank thanks for watching, and I'll pick it up just in a second. All right, bye-bye. All right, so I am back, and Claude is back up. Where we left off was the rotation things were not rotating correctly, and the reason why that is not working quickly. Let me show you something. Here in the Decentraland docs, you've got players, content creators, and contributors. And so if we scroll down here to SDK7, we got 3D content essentials. So this is a lot of the basic code. We've got video code, we've got set entity code. So let's see here. So right here, this is showing us how to set up the transform. So what we could do is just kind of come in and just fix this ourselves. But let's go ahead and rely on Claude since it's back up. But I just wanted to share this with you because this is really beneficial. What this is about is it's about learning. So it's about learning something new. And so this thing new is coding. You don't need to become a master coder. You don't have to memorize anything. After you do it for a while, things will kind of stick, and you'll kind of figure out how to code on accident, like just by proxy. So anyway, I just wanted to show this. If Claude should ever go down, which does happen, with my workflow, I'll just like maybe work on a different aspect of the project if I can't figure out the code myself. And okay, so cool. What I'm going to do is we have got our file right here. In this file, it's got a lot of our paths and things like that. So we will upload this, and we will just simply say look at this. So there actually is still an issue here, but no big deal. So what we can do is this quaternarian, and all of this is explained actually in the creator content creator section down here. So definitely become familiar with this if you ever just need to actually, if you're using Claude, if Claude is up and stuff like that, you can actually copy some of this code if you're doing something more complex into Claude, and it can kind of help you out. Okay, so what we're going to do is go ahead and fix this ourselves. So what we need to do is we need to add a vector 3. And what this is, it's an XYZ coordinate system. So it's like XYZ. Actually, it's X, Z, Y. But so what we're going to do is do this really quickly. Vector3 dot create. These need to be parentheses instead of braces, I think they're called. And also, the letters X, Y, and Z are kind of assumed. There we go. So, and then so I'll go ahead and just make these corrections. And I'm going to get rid of this too. There we go. This is quaternarian from Euler. And again, I really theoretically don't know how to code. I've just picked this up from using it for like 2 months, building it in different ways. Like I said, just like earlier, what you do is whenever you're getting an error, you just tell Claude, go, hey, you typically just have to tell it you're using Decentraland SDK7 once. But usually it fixes it almost immediately. And then over time you start to slowly pick it up. I'm having to be a little quiet because people are sleeping. So let's go ahead and wrap this up. So I mean, you know, this may seem like, oh, you know, it's more than what I want to do, more than what I want to learn. What we can do is actually just copy this. But it's really in your best interest to, as a landowner, as a builder, someone interested in building, to get more familiar with these things. And it's simple. It's not like you're having to learn code from a book or from a website with unrelated lessons, you know. You're able to, I mean, Claude teaches you. Claude teaches you. So, okay. So we're gonna save this off. We're gonna take a look. We already know that we want to turn our video stream sideways. Go ahead and do that. And let's take a look. So now all of our rotations and our scaling and positions, the position was working before with the previous code. But this is the proper way with vector 3. See, before it was like a manual position, so it had like the braces and then it had X, well, it was denoting X, Y, and Z. The vector 3 is like already assumed. Jesus, wow. Okay, let's see here. Oh, so what I had done is I had copied this information over this other information. So what I want to do is I need to move it back. There we go. We've got our screen there. But you notice that that there's no screen there, so we're going to address that in a second. But first, what we're going to do is we're going to scale this baby up. And even more. Let's see here. Actually, probably kind of close to 15, because that whole edge is going to be check. Okay, so make sure my voice is not enough. That whole edge over there is 16. Yeah, it's a big screen. And then what we're gonna do is use the position to raise the position a little bit. So, I mean, I'm a fan of the hub, of the Decentraland Hub. I think it's a great investment. I think it's going to be great. It's actually a really good like introduction to the coding, you know, because you're using a lot of the same kind of concepts. However, you know, this is not that difficult. And if you're using Claude, you know, you can literally, your imagination is going to be your limitation. What you're going to want to do is take it one step when it works. But what you want to do is take it one step at a time. And, you know, so once you get it, once you start off the scene, you know, and then kind of make a few changes, and then save that off and try the next edition and then save that off and just kind of build like that. So let's see here. I'm gonna make this more of like a HD size. Okay, there we go. Alrighty, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna save it, I'm gonna highlight it, copy it. now well, I can't go back to Claude, can I? But I've got that saved. So what I would do if Claude was working is I would drag this, version into it, and I would go like something like the video player is not playing, or I can hear the video, but I cannot see it. But of course, look, it's down, of course. So, but that's how I would kind of engage that. There's probably a better prompt, you know, but ultimately, I was actually practicing around with this earlier, and it actually had a hard time with the video for some reason. It usually doesn't have problems with other things. I mean, you have to, you know, kind of work at it and feed the errors back into Claude, and it'll help you out. Keep in mind, Claude will get much better in the next 6 months. But you know, what I could do is I could actually copy this and tell it, use this as reference. And then if it worked, then it would actually, earlier whenever I did this, it just nailed it. However, what we can do is actually do this ourselves. And yeah, you know, keep in mind, I'm not a coder. Like, I just, you know, after doing this for a little bit, you kind of pick up some of this stuff. So this was about the transform. What we're gonna do is, this is one about the video. So this is under SDK7. So instead of, what was it? Instead of being right here, which we're just at, we're down here, media, and then play videos. So this is actually the code for that. And let's see here. We'll just copy this whole deal. And notice these denotation, these annotations. They're actually really helpful. What I'm gonna do is get down here to the bottom, and I'm going to delete all of the stuff for the video. There we go. Although I need this last brace. I think I'm calling that right now. There we go. And always, you know, kind of check up here to make sure there's no errors. So let's see here. Video code. Kind of copy that just like that. Now this is actually not what I want. This is for an MP3. So I'm gonna delete this and scroll down. It's for Vimeo. So this is for like a player. This would probably work pretty well. Okay, actually that will work for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this number 1. And then instead of using this 2 and 3, I will use this 2. And I'm going to have a really nice little PBR material for it. So I'm getting an error, but notice color 3, that's kind of a hint. So I'm just gonna try this out. Okay, they got rid of that. Video texture. Oh, look at that, video texture, boom. Still getting an error there. I wonder if I have a material. Let's see. Okay, no, that wasn't it. Well, so, this is an example of like why Claude is really helpful, because like if it was working, you could just like pop in there and go fix. So that's about it. What this code right here does that I was trying to do is it kind of makes the screen kind of pop a little bit, makes it look a little bit better. Oh, you know what I needed is I needed this. Boom, boom. So I needed that because see, this right here has got the video texture. It's defining the video texture for the screen. So now, whenever I go down here, now this should work. Yep, this works. Now I did need the color 3 earlier. I actually don't need the color 4 now, so I can get rid of that. Click save this off. I've got my, this is a Vimeo link, so this is kind of a default link. So I'm gonna go ahead and, now mine is actually really loud. So let's go ahead and just try this real quick. So it is really, a good idea to get familiar with let's see, where's our screen? Oh, that's right. Yeah, we had deleted the location of our screen. And we also want to add, yeah. So Decentraland actually suggested to do it like that, but we know from a second ago we added our vector 3, and we're going to create. I know this suddenly looks like I know how to code, but it's actually not quite like that. Bring it up. I don't know what that was about. And so I can actually just copy this. Paste it. Okay, the reason why I got that error is because I copied over my transform information. So what I'll do is just copy that too. Decentraland. And what was that? That was right here. Paste. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and save this off. And so what I'm going to do, notice whenever I saved it, it kind of blinked. That means that it's updated. And I'll go 10. Let's see, 15, 10, 15, save it. Okay, well, I don't see it. So what I'll do is I'll close it and reopen it. Still don't see it. Oh, look at this. The reason why it's not showing is because I copied. So I copied this whole thing from up here, boundary entity, and that's the reason why it's not showing up. So what I need is right here, we had a constant set of screen right here. And so what we need to do is, that's what we need. And there's our screen. Okay, and the reason why we're getting that distortion is because it's actually, the whole scene is 32. So what I need to do is 31. Here we go. Yeah. Yay. So this, of course, is the Decentraland preview. What I'm going to do is copy over my link, which is going to get really loud compared to this volume. So I'm just briefly going to play it, because I'm going to have to turn this volume up a little bit high. And I'm going to run down here to refresh, because if I'm up there and refresh, I'll fall through. So save. And so here in a second. Yeah, there we go. So, Decentraland Demystified.
Let the imagination fly. With Claude AI, so friendly guide.
Okay, so there we go. I have it darkened a little bit in there.
SDK7 for TypeScript coding with blocks and tools. It's so mind-blowing.
Okay, very cool. So yeah, so this is just the general information of how you use Claude, but then when Claude doesn't work, keep in mind that you're slowly learning the whole process, and Decentraland has done an amazing job at providing so much information. So much time, energy, and resources have been put into creating these documents, the Decentraland documents. It's really amazing. Like I said, Claude, there's other resources here with like Decentraland Studio and things like that, which I have a Decentraland Studio as well. But honestly, I think using Claude right now is the best way to get your ideas, to go from ideas to actually, like earlier, we were able to set up the whole scene, do a few things. Like if Claude was actually working, we could have, told it to, try again with the rotation, and it would have fixed that and no problem. The video, like I said, had a little bit more of an issue, and I understand that you may not, you don't have the same experience that I've got using it, even from only like 2 months, and maybe 3 or 4 months on it. But to be able to work these things out for yourself, a lot of this is just from my own experience to be able to do that. But what you could do is just copy this, go in and, you know, like earlier, I can hear the audio, but I cannot see the video. Use this as reference. Yeah. Oh my God, look at this. Oh, it's gonna work. Okay, yeah, this is different than actually what I had done. Oh, because it's using the MP4. So yeah, I mean, this takes a little bit of time, you know, to kind of get used to things. Obviously, the MP4 is not what I want. So I want to stream RTMP. There we go. So now it set it up properly for RTMP. And yeah, it set up everything for us. So what I could do, let's just see. I mean, I've already got my thing set up, but I'll copy this. And let's just paste it here and see. Okay. Yeah, so it gave us some errors. So what I would do is go back in, go pair with it. Oh. Pair with this. Oh, I need full screen on that. Filter mode roughness. And so yeah, you would basically just type in like error with these things. And da-da-da. You know, so I apologize for being correct. Yeah, so, you know, oftentimes what it'll do is have incompatible So I was having errors for the error handling too. So it's just gonna remove that code, which is fine. That's what I kind of wanted to do. Now this right here should work. This should be prime. Yeah, boom. So that's perfect. So now the only thing you need to do is adjust these settings. Keep in mind the vector 3 is not set up for vector 3. And you know, if you just kind of started off, you wouldn't necessarily know about vector 3. Go add rotation. But now you do know. Now you do know about that. Of course, here with the rotation, it actually didn't add the quaternarian, but you know, you would go ahead and prompt that, and let's just see if it finds it. See, look, just like I was saying, it needs quaternarian, and so you didn't even need to know it. You did not need to know any of that stuff. You just told it that rotation is not working, and it's like, oh, I see. Okay, I'm gonna do quaternarian. Make sure I'm still recording. Make sure I press record. So yeah, and then so now you've got this code, and I am going to reverse it. So this is my code, and I'll copy over with that, and yeah, no errors. So from here, all I would have to do is just kind of choose my position and add my key. And if y'all would like to see, so here I'm gonna highlight all, copy. I'm pressing Control S to save, but I'll just go ahead and save just to show you that I'm saving. Highlighting it, copy. I've been doing Control C for copy. And this guy right here is basically done. Now, this that you saw today is just an early build. Yeah, so this is just, so there we go, I copied it and I saved it, Control S, and it turns green. This is what I'm using here. Let's see. I can't think of the name of this. This is a text, a free text, kind of like more advanced than the regular text. So you can kind of search for this. I'll actually go ahead and put it in a link of the descriptions with the Excel sheet, with the Excel file, or a link to the Excel file. Okay, so we've got that saved off, and at this point, what we need to do is just go in to our, so the two main files that you're using here is the index TypeScript file and your scene.json. So where this will be is this will be at -116, -69, -115, -69. We need to set our base. We'll just do -115, -169, because that's the part of the parcel of the estate that's closest to the road. Control S to save. The spawn locations, these are this is a range. So the X, Y, Z, it's got 0 to 3, so that means that you could spawn anywhere between 0 and 3. The Y is very strict, so you'll only be in the 0 points. This is 16 by 16, so the 0 would be at a corner. The other corner would be 16, and 8 would be in the middle. I actually want to go ahead and do 8. So I want it because I have that door kind of in the front. This would drop them off kind of by the front. And actually, I kind of do know my values here. So we know that 32 is on the end with the screen, and we know that 0 is going to be. We also don't want a range, so we just want one number. We want to be very strict with this, and we want them to be at ground level. Okay, so this right here, should we go ahead and save it off? This should drop us right at that entrance. Decentraland Demystified. Okay, and this thumbnail is for the map, for navigation map. And let's see here, I'll show you what that is. With these SDK files, that will be in images. So this is the default thumbnail, but you can change it. You'll want to take a look at the Decentraland docs to see the dimensions that you want to set it at. This is 228 by 160. Okay, so we're going to save this off, and then we'll just take a look to see where we spawn at. We should, if I was correct, we should spawn at the opposite side of the screen, kind of in that doorway area. Ooh, yeah. Oh boy, that's yeah, we got a few different issues there. Let's see, why is that? Okay. Yeah, so by changing that, I think what's happened is that before this was the lower value and this was the higher value. But this actually right here represents my actual parcel. So let's go back. Look at this. Now this looks like it's the right orientation. It just looks like the parcel is, yeah, it looks like this build is just not where the build should be. So what we will do is go back to index and let's change this to 32. Let's see where it seems to be. Yeah, for some reason, it wants this to be at 0. And that means that all of this also needs to be 0. So, I'm not 100% sure why that happened. It had to do with the fact that I was, that I was building it on, so let's see, but the video, it looks like the video does need to be a 31. No? The video needs to be 16. And definitely 15. Okay. So, yeah. So whenever you're setting this up, what I would do is I would go into your scene.json and put your parcel dimensions in first. You don't need to worry about the spawn and stuff, but put in your, actually here we need this to be 8. Let's see where we spawn. But what I would do is I would put in this information for your actual parcel first before you start laying out all of these positions. However, if you do it the other way, you can fix it like I did. Cool. So, you know, these positions here for spawning aren't exactly what I want, but you know, let's not worry about that right now. Just to be more sense, you know, just to not waste time. But yeah, you can definitely play around with these numbers. In the beginning, it was a range of numbers with a comma, and I just made it very strict so it will show up in a certain location. Alrighty, so this is going to be a build at minus theta 116, 150, or sorry, minus 116, minus 115, 69, so here. These locations, and this will be the official Decentraland Demystified. At first, there will be just kind of a video that plays the last episode, but if I have enough room with my live peer, I'll set up a box that you can actually select which episode you want to watch. That may be a little bit of time. There's also another big project I'm working on for the Phantasmagoria, which will soon change to the next iteration of it for the holiday season, for the December season. Okay, cool. Alrighty. Well, thank you for watching. I know this has been a lot, but you know, just by becoming familiar with VS Code and doing it, you know, going through this process 3 or 4 different times, you know, things will just get more familiar. If you have any questions, you can ask me. we can go through it together, or I can just make another video, which I may do. I may reinforce this with another video. There's a lot of snags in this one because Claude didn't work properly, but I think that's actually kind of a good thing because we were able to explore how to navigate those issues by taking a look at the Decentraland docs and going to the scenes SDK7 and checking out the actual code. So if you can find an area of the code that you would like to actually do, like a trigger area or something like that, you can actually, now you can't right now tell Claude to come here to the site because it doesn't have that ability yet. But through this ECS, a lot of the code here is in the ECS. And here's a bunch of interactivity. So if you wanted to move the player, this is the actual code to do that, but you could copy this into Claude and ask Claude to help you with that. So yeah, I mean, with no coding experience, I was able to do some really complex things. And that's just a matter of just using Claude, putting in like my questions, the errors that were popping up, and just working with Claude, just like a partner, just like my own tech, my own person that is just for free. Well, not free, I do pay for a subscription to this, it's $20 a month. But yeah, so there'll be more videos in the future. I hope this helped. I will do a few more things to the build so it looks better. And then I'll be releasing this on the parcel soon. Alrighty, and it should be the official Decentraland Demystified location in Decentraland. Alrighty, take care and happy building. Bye. Oh, and one more thing. To actually publish this, what you would do is instead of running the scene, you would publish it to Genesis City. So I'm gonna hit this, and this will pop up. And what you do is you connect your wallet. I'm not going to connect my wallet here and go through the process. But yeah, so it'd pop up this, and then I would select my wallet here and just follow the prompts. If for any reason these do not open up, you can copy the link and then manually open up your wallet of choice that you've got, and then just copy this into it. Follow the steps, sign it with your wallet. Some are using MetaMask, so you just click on that and follow the steps, sign it, and then it will publish it. And it usually takes I don't know, not long, probably 5-10 minutes, if that, for it to publish. Alrighty, cool. Yeah, I have a lot of work to do on this thing to make it look good. It'll probably look completely different. It will definitely look completely different whenever it's published. Alrighty, well, thank you. Have a good day. All right, bye-bye.